Hello and welcome back again, audience. I'm Manawultus, and I'm back from taking a few weeks off. Not that I'm really have been taking them off. I've been let me just explain here. I don't really have, in a sense, an idea of amusement in the most literal sense of the word. That is, not thinking. I'm always thinking about something. So I'm always thinking about things, and therefore I always have video ideas in the back of my mind, always thinking about that. So I had a while back put out a question and answer request. I only got really one suggestion that someone made. Not really any questions though, and that was to make more gaming content, which I always think is interesting. Now, of course, the thing is, I'm not really that passionate at the moment about gaming, really. So I think it's something that really comes in waves, because I do a lot of gaming and then suddenly I get burnt out a little bit. It comes and goes, and of course, it's not as if I'm not gaming at all, because usually the way it works is that if I'm making gaming videos, I'm not gaming on my own, privately, essentially. But if I don't make videos, that's when I play games on my own. So it's a bit of a give and take there, where I'm not always I'm sort of okay. Let's. By the way, I'm not doing a second take on this. This is the actual video. All the slowdowns, all the times where I stumble over my words, all the times where I change my mind mid-sentence, that's all staying in, lads. You're getting it live. Well, not live, actually, but unfiltered information coming at you right into your ears. I hope that it is a pleasant sound. If it is not a pleasant sound, then I do apologize. And by apologize, I mean that in the traditional sense, that I will say that I think my unpleasantness of sound is justified. And if you disagree, well, I'm in charge of the channel. So if you don't like my voice, then you know what? That's fine. You know, I'm not gonna dox you. I'm not gonna go over to your home. I'm not gonna knock on your door and say, "Hello, my dude. How would you like to spend a whole day listening to my voice?" And then everybody, that's the point where people just close the door and they're wondering, how this guy find me? Why is this guy at my front door? What's he doing here? It's just some random guy from YouTube that I may have seen a couple of videos of, and now suddenly, you know, I left a comment saying, "Your voice is annoying," which, by the way, no one has ever done. It'd be great to at least have some sort of engagement on a lot of these videos, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I go to the door, and he's just spooked. He's actually spooked, because I'm at his home, and people are gonna think weird things. Why is this grown man, okay, going over to the house of some random dude, and he's saying, "Yo, my dude, I heard that you left a slightly unsavory comment on one of my videos. I'd like to inform you that this is a prank, bro." And you may ask, what is the actual prank? What's gonna happen? Are you gonna throw a pie in my face? You're gonna step on my toes? You're gonna kill my whole family? What's the prank here? And I'm just gonna say, there's no prank of that sort. You know, I'm not that mean-spirited. You know, I'm not gonna go around making people messy. That's not a good prank. I mean, it's a fun prank, but it's not fun for the person that's done to. You know, I do like giving people a bit of a spook. You know, a little bit of a spook. I think that's always fine, but I don't think it's okay to mess with people in a more physical sense. simply because it's a massive inconvenience, an enormous inconvenience. So please don't go out and do that. So I'm at his door, and he's gonna think I'm gonna murder his whole family or something. I said, no, the prank is that I'm here, okay? By the way, prank number 2 is that you thought that I was gonna do something, but actually I'm not going to do anything. I'm just gonna sit here in your front door. You're gonna invite me in. You're gonna offer me lunch. Well, no, I already went to Olive Garden, and I ate. Honestly, Olive Garden is not my favorite restaurant. I'm just gonna say it straight out. Before anyone has any misapprehension about what I'm trying to say, Olive Garden is not my particular restaurant of choice. So if you are perhaps interested in going to Olive Garden with me, I'd be up for it. I'd be up for it. You know, I always like somebody else paying for my meal. You know, that's great. It's great. You know, maybe we can split the bit. You know, split the tab. But you know, I'm just saying. You know, I love interaction with fans. Now, of course, if you're expecting something more sexual, that's not gonna happen. I'm just gonna say that. You know, people are gonna think I'm kind of creepy for wanting to have personal interactions with fans, but they're not gonna. They can't. There's no Me Too controversy gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, lads. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Okay, not gonna happen. And well, actually, now that I think about it, if I come out with more controversial positions and I rustle some feathers, maybe there will be a sort of a fake Me Too situation. You know, the kind that happens very commonly. But meanwhile, the fan he still doesn't know what to do because he could have invited me in for a quick meal, but I already ate, so it wouldn't be that. So I'm just standing there, and I purposely, instead of doing anything, instead of leaving, instead of talking more, I just stand there on his doorstep, waiting for not for him to do anything. I'm just trying to extend an awkward moment. And what's he gonna do? What can he do? He could say, "Oh, I'll invite you in," and I wouldn't go in. It'd be rude to tell me to leave. Okay, it'd be kind of rude. So he might not be inclined to do that immediately, but because I'm not actually making conversation, he's just going to be in such an awkward situation, and that will secretly make me laugh on the inside. And that's what it's all about. It's not about him laughing, okay? It's not about making other people laugh. No hidden camera, anything like that. It's about making me laugh, okay? That's my kind of comedy. I like comedy where I get to laugh. So if it puts another person in an awkward spot, you bet I'll do that. I'll do that. Now, of course, I won't hurt anybody to do it, but I'll put someone in an awkward position. I'll put someone in a frightening scenario, but I won't hurt them. You know, hands off, no touchy. But you know, get a little spook, stalk you. You know, that's a comedy. That's a comedy gold. That's a prank, stalking someone. You know, that'd be an actual interesting prank. Going around finding some random person and just trying to semi-covertly follow the person around all day. I think that might be an actual crime though, so maybe that wouldn't be the funnest prank, but you know, it'd be pretty funny for the person doing the prank though, because especially if you see the other person react. But anyway, that's essentially a little look into my mind as to things that I find funny. I find situations funny where I can cause other people to have interesting reactions. Yeah, I'm not the most self-effacing kind of person when it comes to comedy. No, that doesn't mean I will make jokes at the actual direct expense of another person. I won't slander someone. I won't necessarily make someone look like a bad person or insult someone's appearance necessarily. I think it's more of that. It's just a particular reaction to something that I'm doing that I find funny. And that's essentially my entire humor in a nutshell. But anyway, back on track. So I am thinking of actually making videos that are a bit more political, not just in the development of my particular ideology and political philosophy, but actually making more response videos. One target that I've sort of singled out is BreadTube. I'm gonna make some videos where I counter BreadTube's arguments. I'm gonna maybe do a little book review on The Conquest of Bread, perhaps on the Communist Manifesto, although that one, not really that necessary to make a full review on that one, since that one sort of, you can already see where the problems with the presuppositions are in chapter 1, so it's not really necessary to go through 100% because Karl Marx doesn't know a lot about history. Let me just say that. Well, he does know a few things about history, but his understanding of how that relates to sociology and anthropology is very flawed. So I guess I'll put out a quick example here. The division of labor. Karl Marx makes some critiques against the ideas of guild masters and apprentices and other types of social stratification in various organizations. And the problem that I see with that is that it goes sort of against one of the pillars of civilization, which is the division of labor, not simply in a horizontal sense of having different kinds of professions, but also in a vertical sense of having leaders and followers. I think that that's very important for the growth of civilization, and I think it's telling that feudalism was successful for as long as it was. That how the stability of feudalism as an economic system really does show that there is something to be said for social stratification. Now, I think the advantage that we have in a capitalist system over a feudalist system, of course, if we're talking about capitalism, to put it simply, I'm just going to say it's private ownership of the means of production, and it is distinct from feudalism in that feudalism, the feudal hierarchy is essentially institutionalized by the state. Therefore, it is not considered private. And because of that, it's different. But in capitalism with private ownership, the increased amount of competition and also the increased systematic bias towards meritocracy creates a situation where the division of labor becomes more efficient than it was in feudalism. And I would say that in a socialist system, it would become less efficient, therefore reducing the quality of a civilization. Now these are some utilitarian arguments, and they're going very broadly at things. But what I'm specifically thinking of critiquing is a video by Reading Radical, a minor person in BreadTube. At the moment I'm making this video, Reading Radical might become bigger. Just critiquing some critiques of capitalism, particularly sort of an attempt to explain the capitalist system that I think went from some really there were some big misunderstandings of capitalism, particularly of neoclassical economic models and how they relate to Keynesianism, and essentially well, there's a video where Reading Radical essentially claims that the supply and demand graph with prices and amounts is ultimately very flawed, and completely bogus. Essentially tries to uh, the video makes an argument that the supply and demand relationship is not real. Essentially, if you couldn't say it, it goes that far. That it is not an accurate assessment of forces in an economy. That as an economic model, it is highly inaccurate. And of course, this has been linked with neoclassical economics, which, to be honest, the supply and demand graphs did not originate from that. But supply and demand and the relationship between those have been recognized since ancient times. So that's going to be one of the criticisms. But anyway, I'm not going to get into the major criticisms on that. But essentially, if you want the TLDR, which you're probably not going to want if you've already watched through the video. But anyway, TLDR, I'm going to not do some gaming for a while. I might do an anime review from time to time. I might make some music from time to time. But I'm thinking of focusing on politics right now because that's what I'm passionate about over the moment. So tell me what you think. Is there something in particular? I'm going to launch a sort of a full broadside against BreadTube. Really going to try to make response videos to a lot of the stuff that's coming from BreadTube. So tell me what you think. Is this perhaps a dangerous idea? Because a lot of the people in BreadTube aren't really averse to violence as much as individuals in certain other political movements. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just gonna say that if there's something in particular political, particularly in BreadTube, not necessarily, that you'd like to put to my attention, please do so. Now, I'm not talking about personal information docs and things that happen in people's personal lives, but rather theories that are being put out. Those are things that I'm really trying to go against, the arguments and the principles behind BreadTube, rather than any ad hominem potential in polemics. However, I would also say that if people do indeed want to contact me and talk to me and actually bring something up live and use my channel as a platform, I would be happy to do that. So anybody out there that wants to talk to me and use my channel as a platform. I'm not saying that you would be the one posting videos to my channel. I'm not willing to necessarily give away my password or do anything like that. I'm just saying more collaboration kind of thing. So tell me what you think. Are you interested? Are you uninterested? We'll see. So thank you all for listening. I suppose there won't really be anything going on screen this episode. And I will be seeing you all next time on Ultus, over and out.